Hi everyone, thanks for being here. I'm Lou. Welcome to your July monthly forecast. Okay, so this month we begin the Venus retrogrades. This is a really exciting and powerful time this month. So that starts in Leo on July the 23rd, but she'll be in the pre-retrograde shadow for the whole of July. So we'll be feeling these themes coming out in our lives, and we'll be able to apply ourselves to these themes for the whole month, and then into August and September, and all the way into about mid-October even. The overarching themes of Venus in Leo, it's all about love, and it's all about the hearts, the heart space. And so there'll be a lot of heartfelt emotions. There'll be a lot of boldness in love and in relating and in communicating love. I expect there'll be a lot of expression. There'll be a lot of outpour of love, like of the heart's desires. So this doesn't have to be romantic, although for a lot of people it will be. This will be about creativity as well, and about how you express yourself creatively. And so I have actually made a separate video that is just for the Venus retrograde. So if you want to work deliberately with this energy, or if you want to see how this is going to manifest in your life, and what you can do to shape this energy and shift how it manifests in your life, all that information is in that video. It's an extended video. It's very in depth, and I do a tarot card reading for each zodiac sign in that video. So highly recommend that you watch it. It's got a lot of information in it. So I'll be releasing that closer to the Venus retrograde around July the 23rd. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you get notified when that video is released. And yeah, let's get into the forecast.
I wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I'm working from today, the Kumbankia people, and recognize their continued connection to their land and their culture. I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging, and I acknowledge that this is and always will be Aboriginal land.
Hey there Gemini, welcome to Cancer season. So we open up the month with the sun activating your second house. So this is a really beautiful month to work on your alignment with abundance versus lack, like a abundance mindset versus a lacking mindset. So where you sit on the continuum of that, and how you utilize that mindset and that abundance energy in your life. So whether that's material or you know, like finances, money, or resources in your life, or whether that's energetically with other people and in terms of your self-worth and self-esteem. So that will be a topic to look at for you this month. Now on July the 3rd, we have the full moon in Capricorn. That's activating your 8th house. And I'm not going to lie, Gemini, I feel like this might be quite a challenging full moon for you, although it is trining with Jupiter, which is in your 12th house. So this is about that storyline that you've been going on for a while, and especially sort of March, April, May this year. And there was like this requirement for you to ascend. So you've been going through like maybe a dark night of the soul type thing, or like some sort of awakening or physical or like spiritual ascension of some description has been happening with all of that energy in Taurus. And Jupiter being in there, this is about blessings. This is meant to be positive for you, and that storyline will be helping this full moon. So as you go into this full moon in the 8th house, it's about releasing blocks and releasing resistance that are blocking you from your own empowerment, from standing in your own personal power. And so that's why I think it can be quite difficult if you struggle with your own power and your own empowerment, which most people do, let's be honest. And that, so especially when you're going through an awakening, you know, it's a time of extreme feeling of disempowerment usually. And so there could be like traumas or psychological internal processes that come up for you during this moon and that require a transformation out of you. The 8th house is very transformative. So there's really deep work that you'll open the month up doing. So looking at the place that you can go for this work is your spirituality. It is your connection with the divine. So through meditation or however you connect with the divine, that is going to be helpful and beneficial in this empowerment storyline and in releasing anything that's blocking you from your own personal power, which is a good thing. It will be a good thing in the long run, but it's not easy to navigate when you're going through it. On July 10, Mars will move into Virgo, and that represents your 4th house, and it will stay in Virgo until August the 27th. So we have 6 weeks to utilize this Mars in Virgo energy. And Mars in your 4th house is looking at your emotional guidance system, and Mars is wanting you to create a course of action that helps you to create a harmonious emotional state, right? So an emotional state of being within you that is going to be aligned with the direction you're trying to go in life. So anywhere where you're trying to focus your energy to create, to manifest, to bring your life into the way you want it to be, Mars will be bringing your attention to the emotions that are out of alignment with that for the purpose of creating a course of action. So you may receive a lot of emotional guidance in terms of anger and frustration and irritability. Mars brings that out in us. So if there's anger there and it comes up for you, that's Mars navigating and showing you where there's blocks. Mars wants to push through any blocks, push through any barriers. He wants to burn down anything that's in your way. And this will be that emotional space. Okay, so anything that's in your way emotionally that's blocking you from the life you're trying to create for yourself, the life you want to live for yourself. So the other side of that is, this is the house of our childhood and our inner child. So if you have childhood wounds and traumas around anger, so if you have repressed anger or you've got you're holding a lot of anger, that can come up for healing during this Mars in your 4th house. So the 4th house is a good time for that, to do that childhood work, that childhood trauma work. And this can also be applied to your family, your home environment. So there could be changes, there could be shifts, there could be like this need to actually physically break down barriers within your home environment or your where you live, or the people you live with, or your close family members. Now, on the next day, on July 11th, your ruling planet Mercury will move into Leo. And so this is sort of bringing that storyline. It's joining Venus there. So we're talking about this Venus in Leo storyline. I think this will be really good for you, Gemini, because 1, Mercury is your ruling planet, and 2, Leo represents your 3rd house, which is your natural home. So it's an easy position for Mercury to be in. It means that you will be feeling more aligned with who you really are. Your mind will be more active, it will be more open, it will be more receptive as well. So your mind will be a tool for you instead of spiraling you, it will help you to align. So it could be a really good time to work on your mental state. It's only there for 2 weeks. So if you're getting lots of good ideas, lots of good communications, lots of the end of that, so that's that Mercury energy. Utilize it, use it for what it was meant for. And then on July 13th, we have another major shift happening. So we have the North Node is moving into Aries, and I think that will be a relief for you, Gemini. So for the last 18 months, the North Node has been in Taurus. So that's that storyline I'm talking about with the ascension, the awakening. It's been bringing a lot of fate and a lot of karma your way to cause and to perpetuate this emotional, this like spiritual awakening you've been having. And that may not have been the most comfortable space to be in with the South Node over in the 6th house. It may have been very uncomfortable for you. I mean, it was. We know that it was. But so I think that it will be a relief when it moves into Aries. So moving into Aries, it will start that cycle and it will be there for 18 months. So this will be an 18-month North Node in Aries cycle. And that represents your 11th house. So we're looking now at your hopes, dreams, and wishes, your major life goals, and what you want for yourself. So you will be divinely supported. There will be support there to bring in and draw in some of those like huge goals that you have for your life. But also what happens in the 11th house is we have these divine fated meetings of people. So there could be like this complete shift in your friendship circle or in your association or in your community, the community that you're engaging in. There can be big shift in, you know, like an organization that you need to get you to the next level. Wherever you're trying to go can come in, you can engage in. But with the South Node over in Libra, which represents your 5th house, you know, it can be easy to get lost. This is kind of the ego versus the egoless. So we're talking about, it can be quite easy to get lost in selfishness and in your ego. So you need to be really careful over the next 18 months of your ego getting in the way, and ego wounding and ego traumas blocking you from being able to connect and to move forward on a more spiritual level and with people in your life. So that's something to be aware of over the next 18 months, Gemini. On July 18, we have a new moon in Cancer again. That's that 2nd house storyline. It might be a really beautiful time for you to create some new direction in your resources, in your finances. It's a good time to look at your mindset around abundance. Okay, so the 2nd house can be abundance, but it's also abundance in the physical reality. So abundance, like tangible abundance, money basically, and resources. But it's also tied in and connected to your level of self-worth and abundance you feel within, on the inner realm, the inner versus the external. So it's a really beautiful moon to look at that and to make decisions and make changes that will create more abundance, particularly over the next 6 months for you. And then on July the 23rd, we begin Leo season, and on the very same day, Venus moves retrograde. And so I'm not going to talk too much about this Venus retrograde in this video, because I have recorded a whole video on the Venus retrograde, and I go into so much depth in that video, and I actually have done a tarot card reading for each individual zodiac sign, and that just covers all the work, all the healing, everything that's available to you, how you can engage with that energy, how you can use it in your life deliberately, how you can use it to manifest, to create, and the healing that's available for you. So I highly recommend that you watch that video and subscribe to my channel so that you get notified when I release it. So that'll be closer to the 23rd of July that will be released. But for the purpose of this video, Venus is moving retrograde in your 3rd house. And so this is really about being more loving, speaking more lovingly into yourself, like your inner dialogue, being like making that more easy, more harmonious and more loving, but also speaking more lovingly outwardly to other people, expressing yourself to other people in a more loving way, and where you sort of sit on that and how you allow that into your life, how you allow space for that into your life. So really for you, Gemini, it will be about talking to yourself, the way you talk to yourself, the way you think about yourself, those kinds of things. There's an easy opportunity to improve that, to enhance that, to create more harmony in your thought habits and your thought patterns between now and September. And then last but not least, your ruling planet Mercury will move into Virgo on July the 29th, and that will be, Mercury will be gearing up to do a retrograde there. So we will talk about that next month, but just so you're aware, there is this retrograde, and there will be this overlapping of the Mercury retrograde and the Venus retrograde that will be happening. Mercury in your 4th house, so that is an angular house. It's quite an important house, and so this will be an important retrograde for you, and it will create this very intense, very introspective, very deep energy throughout the whole of August. But we'll talk more about that next month. Okay, so that is your July forecast. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for going on this creative journey with me and for letting me be a part of your creative journey. And like I said, check out that Venus retrograde video. It's got a lot of information in it. And I'll see you again next month. Take care.